everybody, welcome to another edition of Axe Creation. Today we have another joint collaboration lesson between drummer Addison Kurt and myself. Definitely check out his YouTube channel, link is down below in the description. And also, if you want to get more into the drumming side or rhythmical aspect of this lesson, definitely go check out his version of this lesson. So, as you heard in the beginning, and as you can see by the title, we're going to talk about polyrhythms today, and how to put those polyrhythms into your riff writing, into your compositions, and into your songs. And I hate to use the word or term djent, but it's this style and this particular polyrhythm that we're talking about is found in this non-existent subgenre of metal that we're not going to call djent. Tech metal, progressive metal, whatever you want, it's irrelevant to what's going on because the main aspect of this lesson is polyrhythms. So before we get into everything, I'm playing 7-string, standard tuning, Schecter, custom, before everyone asks me. I'm running into the Line 6 HD Pro, and in front of that I'm actually using the Dead Horse Overdrive from Proton Pedals. And as you can hear from the sound I'm playing, it's not overly aggressive just for this particular lesson, but the track that you heard I recorded with this sound and I overlaid another heavier sound on top of that with the gain tuned down, and it turned out pretty nice. But as you can see, if I shut off the Dead Horse pedal, I'm actually running a pretty clean. So all the distortion that you're hearing is coming from the Dead Horse, which is really nice. So, getting into this, I'm kind of going to work backwards from the example that we heard in the beginning of the lesson. The overall time signature of this entire thing is in 5/4. Right? So if you're unfamiliar with that, it's 4/4 with an extra beat. Just count the 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Simple enough. And the polyrhythm that's going against that throughout is a 5/8 example. Now, you can double 5/8 and you get 5/4, right? Because 5/4 is 10/8 notes, and cut that in half, it's 5/8 notes, 5/8 and 5/8. But this polyrhythm, it's an accented 5 pattern. And basically it's the 1 and the 3. So if we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's how you would count 5/8, and it's a very standard, the accent pattern we're using is a very typical 5/8 accent pattern. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 2 and 3, right? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that feel, or that accent pattern, sets up the entire, is the motif for this entire example. And if you can notice in the second half of this, I'm just playing these chords to that, and I just start moving that around. So again, I'm kind of moving backwards through this. So the chords I'm playing, essentially the major chord. It's on my E string, my 6th string. It's 3, 2, 5, or GBD, or GBG. There's the root and the third, and then an octave. And I'm just kind of moving that parallel motion up and down for the second half. So in the second half, I'm just playing. There's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? And then just to give it some climax, we start chugging away on that low B. So it's first it's 2 and then it's 4. Alright, and then we just move through that. So it's 3 up to 5, and then 8 and 10, and then 8 and 7. And with that B string, we get a very B major-ish. And that kind of permeates, that sound kind of permeates through the entire riff. So that section we go through. Right? And at that point I'm just accenting the 5/8 polyrhythm that's been hidden throughout this whole entire thing. And again, the transcriptions for this lesson the link is down below, so definitely check that out, follow along, listen to the example. It'll really help you understand if you're having a hard time following. So now let's jump to the beginning of this. And again, I don't think of this whole riff that I'm playing. I don't hear that as 5/8, so I'm in 5/4, right? Addison's doing his 5/8 on a drum or a cymbal, and as well as he's playing this whole beat in 5/4. And basically all I'm playing is open B, and then 11 on my D, D sharp, very B major sound, and then picking out a power chord on the 10th fret on a low B, so it's 10-12, and then I'm dropping that down to 7-10, essentially a D chord, first inversion. Sounds pretty cool. And then on my E string it's 8-7, my low B 8-7-10, and that's my turnaround. And now as I repeat the riff, it stays exactly the same except for those last two notes. Instead of 7-10, it's actually up an octave on 9 and 12 on my A string. Again, it's a great little, riff variation. And what I really like about this, I'm still accenting or trying to bring to life that 5/8 polyrhythm that's going on. And the one thing I really love about this kind of feeling, especially 5/4, how you can cut it in half like this, is you accent downbeats and then you accent upbeats, and it's really clear, especially when you cut it in half, because 5 is an odd number, so cut 5 in half, it brings you to the downbeat of 3, right? 1 and 2 and 3. Here's my 5/8 notes, and then the second half would be the upbeat of 3, and everything from that point on is on the upbeat. So it's a great little pattern to get comfortable with. And the riff tries to bring that to life, as I said. So the first two notes are on the downbeats, and then we're all on the upbeats, and that's one measure of 5. Right? And then the next measure of 5. Right, so the 10 is on the down, 10-8, 10-8, downbeats, and then all those notes are on the upbeat. Right, and I use a dotted quarter note to mimic the 2-5. the 2 and the 3 accent pattern of the 5/8. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the same thing is here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So that repeats a couple times, and then we throw in a measure of 7/4 just to segue the parts. Give it a little separation, and I throw in some seconds here. 12 on my D, and then 9 on my G, and then I just move that down a whole step. And that brings us back to the... And that is... So as you can see, I'm not playing the 5/4, the polyrhythm that I haven't mentioned yet. So I'm not playing the polyrhythm that Addison is playing. And when we switch to this part, if you listen real carefully, Addison starts hitting the crash cymbal, the China cymbal, whichever one you want if you're programming drums at home, and he's doing a 2/4 pattern. So over the 5/4, every 2 is going to be the cymbal hit. And again, this is real common in this non-existent subgenre of metal that we're going to call Djent in this particular lesson, right? You'll hear this a lot. And so the way that works is every 2 quarter notes you have this 1 cymbal hit. So if you count that out, it's going to repeat on 1 every 2 measures. So you get this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1. Right? And that's a great way to put in that quarter note pulse against everything that's going on. So we have a 5/4 that's going on, we have the 5/8 motif within it, and then you have this quarter note pulse against all of that. And that is our how to apply some polyrhythms example. So I'm going to play the example again, listen to it, the link for the tabs is in the description below. As always, let me know what you come up with, and until then, I'll see you next time. Thanks a lot.